Hey there. I am really excited about this find. I have Hit, Hita, Hitachino Nest. It's a red rice ale. Um, so that's kind of exciting. It says this red rice ale is brewed with special red rice which had been cultured in ancient times in Japan. Please enjoy the complex taste and beautiful natural color. Um, so there is no red rice ale category in the BJCP style guidelines. Um, so we'll just dive into this and see how it is. Let me see here. I read the alcohol. So it's 7% alcohol by volume, which is pretty intense. And it is brewed brewed in Japan. So actually it's hard now because so many beers are brewed under license somewhere else. So the other two Japanese beers that I've done recently, I think were brewed. One was brewed in the U.S. and one was brewed in Canada. So this was in fact brewed in Japan, and it has an owl. Winning. Okay, so let's take a look. Oh wait, yes, aroma. I'm so excited about this. It has an interesting kind of floral quality. And I had a product, what is it called? Not wild rice. Forbidden rice, I think. Anyway, and it has like this grain kind of smell to it, like earthy grain smell to it, and that's exactly how this smells, but florally. Very interesting. So it's got an earthy, grainy smell to it, and a light floral fragrance. Very interesting. So it's very hazy. It appears to be unfiltered. There are some floaty things in here. Wait, am I making that up? No, I'm pretty sure there are floaty things in here. But it's very hazy. It did pour with a little bit of head. It's slightly retaining a head. It looks like it's pretty well carbonated. So let's get into flavor. Are you excited? I don't know. There's so much going on. Very interesting. Okay. I don't know if you saw a moment of panic in my eyes, but I've had some beers that are labeled as gluten free that are sorghum based, and oh my god, is it awful! Like, I, at this point, will never drink a sorghum beer again in my life. I think I was traumatized. So, for like 2 seconds or 2 milliseconds, every time I took a drink of this beer, as the flavor kind of developed, I got the impression of the same kind of flavor that I got from the sorghum beer. So it never really fully developed into that, but it's reminiscent of it, which, since I was traumatized by sorghum, kind of colors my opinion of it. However, it's very interesting. It's light and fruity and floral. It finishes with a little bit of bitterness to it. It has this kind of deep graininess, definitely reminiscent of rice. Like, my mom used to make me rice milk and sugar for breakfast, which was just leftover white rice mixed with table sugar and milk as a breakfast cereal. And it kind of reminds me of that. It's not, obviously not as sweet. It doesn't have any overwhelming sweetness to it, but it's like comfort food kind of. It's interesting, and so it has a little bit of that like earthy, floral combination of flavors. In the finish, it's trying to figure out what that flavor reminds me of, other than sorghum ale. I don't know. I'll have to think on that. Mouthfeel wise, it's a pretty light body. It's very carbonated. But and it you know and I think what's interesting is that it has a pretty light body to it, medium light, even though it's unfiltered and has particles in it. So you would expect that it would have some pretty significant body. Um, but it really doesn't. It still comes across as light on the tongue. Um, Nice crisp carbonation. The carbonation really finishes it nicely. I think it brings together all of these different flavor things that are going on: the graininess, the sweetness, the floral, the earthy, herbal kind of quality to it, and it really wraps it up nicely. This is a really interesting beer. Um, I don't know if I'll buy it again, but I find it really interesting, and I wish at this point that more Japanese restaurants served beers like this that were actually brewed in Japan, that are very unique and interesting, and kind of um, you know break us into to make us force us to try things, or I guess we don't have to try them, but give us the opportunity to try things that aren't so readily available in the U.S. I think um, I'm trying to recall now what exactly sake tastes like, because I'm not really big into sake, but it's kind of that finish, like that. Sake has such an alcohol flavor to it. I can't even describe it. If you get the opportunity to try this, I definitely recommend it. I happened to find this at Bevmo, and Bevmo has a really great beer section that's divided by. They have some regional categories, and then they have like a big craft beer, which is kind of like the catch-all. But I found this in the Japanese or Asian region section of the store, because I was specifically looking for the Sapporo Reserve, which I think I also found there. But nonetheless, this is a really interesting beer. It seems to kind of, and I understand why there's not a rice category. I don't think I've ever heard of another rice-based beer. But I don't think it's a specialty ale. But definitely a flavor experience. I'm really glad that I tried it. Oftentimes, when I come across a beer that I'm not real fond of, I don't even finish drinking it, which is it's I end up putting it back in the refrigerator and hoping that I'll drink it again, or take another drink and finish it later. And I end up pouring it out because it's flat. This beer I actually think I will finish and enjoy. So if you've happened to come across this and you've given it a try, let me know what you think. I'm really curious to hear other people's opinion of it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.